Today we're going to break down the anatomy of a powerful AI art prompt and explore how professional creators consistently generate cinematic, polished, and visually compelling AI images. The key idea is this: great AI art is not random. The quality of the image depends heavily on the clarity, structure, and intentionality of the prompt. By the end of this presentation, you'll understand the core building blocks used by advanced AI artists, how to combine them effectively, and the common mistakes that weaken image quality. One of the biggest misconceptions about AI art is that success comes from adding more words. In reality, quality comes from structure and coherence. AI image models interpret prompts as layered instructions. The more intentional and organized the prompt is, the more consistent and visually impressive the result becomes. Weak prompts often contain random disconnected keywords. Strong prompts guide the AI through subject, environment, lighting, style, mood, and visual storytelling. Professional AI artists think like filmmakers, photographers, and concept designers, not just keyword collectors. A strong AI art prompt usually combines between 8 and 12 core elements. You do not always need every category, but the best prompts intentionally combine several layers together. Think of these as modular building blocks. Each one controls a different part of the final image. Together, they create clarity, emotion, realism, and artistic direction. The subject is the anchor of the entire prompt. This is the main focus of the image. Everything else in the prompt supports or enhances the subject. Strong subjects are usually specific, visual, and emotionally interesting. For example, a warrior is generic, but a cyberpunk samurai with glowing armor immediately creates stronger imagery. The more visually distinctive the subject is, the easier it is for the AI to produce memorable results. The environment provides context and storytelling. It answers the question: where does this subject exist? A good environment creates atmosphere and narrative depth. For example, a knight standing in a castle creates one feeling. A knight standing alone in a burning battlefield creates something entirely different. The setting influences emotion, lighting, scale, and cinematic impact. Composition controls how the viewer experiences the image. This is one of the most overlooked prompt elements. Camera framing dramatically changes emotional impact. For example, a close-up portrait feels intimate. A wide shot feels epic. A low-angle shot creates power. A bird's-eye view creates scale and distance. Professional prompts often borrow language directly from cinematography and photography. Lighting is one of the most important parts of an AI art prompt. In many cases, lighting matters more than adding extra descriptive details. Good lighting creates mood, depth, realism, and cinematic polish. Words like volumetric lighting, soft diffused light, or dramatic rim lighting can completely transform the final result. Professional quality AI images almost always contain intentional lighting direction. The style defines the artistic language of the image. This tells the AI how the image should visually behave. For example, photorealistic pushes realism. Anime style emphasizes stylization and expressive forms. Oil painting creates painterly textures. Concept art often creates cinematic detail and dramatic design. The style acts like a visual identity system for the entire image. Mood creates emotional coherence. This is what separates technically correct images from emotionally compelling ones. Atmosphere helps unify all the visual decisions. Lighting, color, environment, and composition. For example, a peaceful forest and an ominous forest may contain similar elements, but they feel completely different emotionally. Color palettes unify the image aesthetically. Consistent colors make images feel intentional and professionally designed. Meanwhile, detail controls rendering richness. However, this is where many beginners make mistakes. Adding too many detail terms can overload the prompt and reduce clarity. More words do not always equal better images. Precision beats excess. Technical render terms can enhance realism and cinematic quality when used carefully. Terms like depth of field, HDR, or film grain can subtly improve the visual finish. Motion also adds life and energy. Static images often feel less immersive. Even simple movement descriptions like wind blowing through her hair can dramatically increase realism and storytelling. Specific visual details make images memorable. These unique elements give the AI distinctive visual anchors. Negative prompts are equally important in many AI systems. They help remove common generation problems such as distorted anatomy, blurry hands, text artifacts, or low-quality rendering. A good prompt is not only about what you want. It is also about what you want to avoid. Let's compare a weak prompt with a strong one. The weak version lacks atmosphere, composition, lighting, style, and emotional tone. The strong version layers subject detail, cinematic lighting, mood, texture, and environment. This layered approach produces dramatically stronger outputs. The most common mistake is keyword overload. Many users think adding dozens of random descriptors improves quality. Usually, it does the opposite. AI performs best when prompts are coherent, visually logical, and stylistically consistent. Clarity beats chaos. AI artists think in cinematic layers. Instead of stacking adjectives randomly, they build prompts like directors planning a scene. First comes the subject, then the story, then the cinematography, lighting, style, mood, and final polish. This mindset consistently creates stronger and more cinematic AI artwork. Different style categories create very different visual behaviors. For example, cinematic prompts emphasize dramatic framing in film aesthetics. Fantasy prompts focus on mythology and world building. Anime prompts prioritize stylization and energy. Realism focuses on authentic photographic detail. Painterly prompts emphasize texture and brushwork. Understanding style categories helps you intentionally control the final image identity. This formula acts as a professional framework for building strong prompts. You can think of it as a blueprint. Not every prompt needs every category. But the more intentionally these layers work together, the more cinematic and polished the image becomes. To conclude, the best AI art prompts are not about using the most words. They are about intentional visual direction. Professional prompts combine strong subjects, cinematic composition, effective lighting, emotional atmosphere, and stylistic coherence. When you learn to think in layers rather than random keywords, your AI artwork improves dramatically. Thank you for watching. I hope this presentation gives you a stronger understanding of how to design professional quality AI art prompts. With practice, structured prompting becomes less about memorization and more about visual storytelling.